Welcome to my living room. I don't think this is like a shot that I'm going to be able to use long term because it's in my living room and I can't smoke in here or else Jocelyn will be mad at me. I have an idea. I've been thinking a lot lately about this plateau that seems to have happened in the last maybe 5 years in the archery industry. And I'm not saying that there's not been some incremental changes that have been really, really good tweaks and changes to bows. What I'm talking about, though, is the kind of the foundation system, the cams, the strings, the limbs, the risers, a bow. It feels like the last 5 years, it's kind of slowed down a bit as far as the progression in technology. This is what I wonder. I think about the high-end hunting rifle community. There are guys that will spend $20,000 on a high-end rifle and a high-end optic to go walk around in the woods and hunt with it. So for us as bow hunters to have something that we can buy and top of the line, brand new, out the box, out the door, if you go full on and rebuy everything top of the line, you're at $3,000. This may seem ridiculous, but this is what I wonder. What if there was a $5,000 bow? Hear me. Don't disappear. Hear what I'm trying to say. The reason I'm thinking this, I wonder if the reason we are limiting this kind of technological growth in bows is because of the manufacturers basically fighting each other to keep the price down as much as possible. And I think about the car industry a bit, the idea of them creating concept cars. The reason they do that is to basically imagineer what's this unbelievable car that we perceive may not even be a possibility, but let's cut these people loose and let's let them do something to grow. And then they'll pull little ideas that they go, I think we can tweak this one, we can make this one work. I wonder if we should be trying to do the same thing in the bow industry. If a manufacturer could sell a bow for $5,000, what would they be focusing on? Lighten up the riser? Maybe it's some sort of more expensive alloy, or maybe it's some sort of titanium type thing. I mean, we're not going to change the dimensions of a bow very much. We understand based on physics what happens when you take a brace height to 4 inches versus a brace height of 7, 8, 9 inches. So what I'm more thinking is just, are there materials that you can literally just kind of create a different version of the same bow, but using these higher end materials? If a string could cost $800 instead of $100 retail, could you use materials that made that string half as thick, just as strong, but because it's half as thick, therefore half the weight, it's cutting through the air faster, therefore helping increase speed? If you could change the cams from being aluminum cans to being some sort of alloy, what I'm basically doing is just using words that I've heard in Avengers movies. We'll create an alloy. It'll be an alloy. What if it's titanium? I just keep going with titanium as well. Some material that literally is the same shape of cam, but the material is lighter so that those cams can rotate faster, therefore creating more speed. Because what we're thinking about for the $5,000 bow is not a bow that's going to shoot 600 feet per second. I'm thinking about a bow that's 10 to 20% better than the normal flagship bows that are sold every day, but that would be used to push this technology further. Another thing that I'm super interested in, because I've been messing with a little bit, and I was trying to decide if I even wanted to tell this in a video, because I was like, maybe that's a thing that I should figure out. And I was like, it doesn't matter. I'm never going to do this anyway. So if you want to use this as your idea, go for it. Just send me a check when you make your millions. So if you don't know what a gyroscope is, essentially it's a heavy metal weight that starts to spin, and it literally creates such strength that it will essentially stabilize something like a boat moving through water. And so the example that my father-in-law uses, who owns about a 70-foot boat, he said that the gyroscope in a 70-foot boat would be about the size of a basketball. And that thing, once it gets spinning, is strong enough to literally counter waves crashing into this thing. Now, it's not going to be perfect, but he talked about it making a tremendous difference. And this is what I was wondering. bring it back to the archery. Would it be possible to create a small gyroscope, something the size of maybe like half of a marble, like a pea, and literally put it in the cutout where the grip is? So I'm talking about something that could either be created by an aftermarket company or something that could be created by a bow company, but literally a gyroscope in the grip on the bow, eliminating the need for stabilizers. I can dream, right? Why can't I just dream? I think it's super interesting. And there may already be some sort of patent where you're using that. But I mean, you could literally do it like the red dot grips on a pistol, where your hand goes into a certain position, and then when you draw, there's pressure that's put on that thing. It triggers a 9-volt battery that then starts the gyro spinning. I don't think it would be that complicated. What I don't know is, what's it going to feel like? What's it actually going to feel like? What I'm doing is I'm publicly brainstorming ideas in hopes that maybe somebody will comment in the comments something that bow manufacturers can read this stuff and go, oh, that's an interesting idea. But more than that, potentially be willing to spend some R&D money getting into the computers and thinking, you know what? What if we did release a bow that was a premium bow? And maybe $5,000 is not the number. I don't know. I would genuinely be willing to spend $5,000 if the bow was just like, holy crap, that is hands down, inarguably the best bow this year. Because all the bows are so close right now. If you could give me one that they were like, yep, we're getting IBO speeds of 380, and it's the most stable platform that we've ever had. It's quieter because of XYZ magic unobtainium thing that we did. I got that from the Avengers too, probably. And you slip your hand in a Thanos glove that grabs the grip that begins the gyroscope spinning and the bow magically. You understand what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm getting a little bit over the top, but literally in the comments, put what you think would be an interesting path for somebody who had no restrictions in what they were thinking about for a bow. What could they do? Like, what's an interesting thing to think about researching on an R&D level that could take the bow industry to the next level? I don't know. Just some random thoughts. I want to see the archery industry push itself forward. I want people to continue to innovate. And I think it's fun to kind of think through stuff like this. Like, just think, what would make this shooting experience better? What makes bows more lethal? All those kinds of things I think are just fascinating kind of mental exercises. The other reason that I was super excited to actually shoot this video is we finally got internet at our house for the first time in 10 years. So literally, we haven't had internet at the old place because Comcast wanted $7,000 to run a cable from the street to our house because our driveway was so long. And so I would have to drive to my office to upload these videos. So every video that I've ever made has been me driving to my office, which I barely ever go to anymore, sitting in the room, doing other work or whatever, while uploading a video. No more. Now I can watch my freaking 75-inch giant-ass TV that we just bought. I'm super excited about that because we never had a nice TV, because why would we do that? Because we didn't have internet to actually watch TV on. Like, we didn't have a dish, we didn't have anything. I do see there's some irony in me talking about great technological advances when we've been living like third world country people. Literally third world country people. Literally just random thoughts, me sitting in the living room on a Friday night. I hope everybody has an awesome new year and had a wonderful Christmas. Thank you for watching. I'm Brandon McDonald.